What happens when basketball brilliance collides with mathematical impossibility and organizational delusion? The Golden State Warriors are living proof that even championship-pedigreed franchises can lose their grip on reality. As Jake Fisher's explosive report reveals, they've been persistently calling the Los Angeles Lakers about acquiring LeBron James. A pursuit so fantastical it borders on comedy, yet so revealing it exposes the Warriors' deepening desperation. This isn't just another trade rumor swirling through NBA circles. This is a window into the soul of an organization grappling with the harsh reality that their championship window might be slamming shut, leading them to chase impossibilities with the fervor of gamblers convinced their next bet will change everything. The Warriors' multiple calls to Los Angeles represent more than aggressive roster management. They reveal a franchise teetering between confidence and panic. Picture this scenario for a moment. Stephen Curry, the greatest shooter in basketball history, finally teaming up with LeBron James, arguably the greatest all-around player ever to touch a basketball. Add Draymond Green's defensive genius and leadership, and you've got a big three that would make basketball purists weep with joy while simultaneously sending opposing coaches into therapy. The on-court chemistry would be absolutely electric. Curry's gravitational pull from beyond the arc would create unprecedented spacing for LeBron's drive-and-kick brilliance. James's court vision combined with Curry's off-ball movement would generate the kind of highlight reel basketball that breaks the internet on a nightly basis. Draymond's defensive versatility and basketball IQ would provide the perfect complement to two offensive maestros. From a pure basketball perspective, this trio would represent the ultimate fusion of skill, experience, and championship pedigree. LeBron's ability to facilitate offense while still dominating in crucial moments, paired with Curry's otherworldly shooting and clutch gene, could theoretically create the most unstoppable offensive combination in modern NBA history. The playoff implications would be staggering. Imagine trying to game plan against a team featuring LeBron's playoff experience, Curry's postseason magic, and Draymond's defensive genius all operating in perfect harmony. The psychological advantage alone would be worth several wins in a 7-game series. However, dreams and reality occupy entirely different universes, and the Warriors are about to learn that lesson in the most brutal way possible. Here's where this beautiful basketball fantasy crashes into the unforgiving wall of NBA financial reality. LeBron James carries a massive salary that would require the Warriors to essentially dismantle their entire roster to make the mathematics work, transforming a championship-caliber team into a top-heavy disaster. The Warriors are already operating near the luxury tax threshold, meaning any significant salary addition would trigger penalties that could cost ownership tens of millions of dollars in additional taxes. Adding LeBron's contract would push them so far into tax territory that the financial implications would be astronomical, potentially approaching 9-figure total commitments. Even if the Warriors were willing to pay those crushing tax bills, the roster construction challenges would be insurmountable. They'd need to trade away key rotation players, depth pieces, and potentially even starter-caliber talent just to create the salary cap space necessary to accommodate LeBron's contract. The end result would be a roster featuring 3 superstars surrounded by minimum salary players and developmental projects. Exactly the kind of roster construction that sounds incredible on paper, but fails miserably when tested against the depth and versatility of legitimate championship contenders. Modern NBA success demands roster depth that can survive injuries, foul trouble, and the grueling 82-game regular season followed by intense playoff basketball. Trading away that depth for one superstar, regardless of his greatness, represents the kind of short-sighted thinking that destroys championship aspirations. From Los Angeles' perspective, this Warriors pursuit represents nothing more than an interesting thought experiment with zero practical application. The Lakers have absolutely no incentive to facilitate a trade that would strengthen a Western Conference rival while weakening their own championship aspirations. LeBron James remains the cornerstone of the Lakers' entire organizational strategy. Despite his advanced age, he's still producing at an elite level while serving as the primary reason the franchise maintains its championship relevance. Trading him would signal complete organizational surrender that would devastate fan support and franchise value. The Lakers have invested heavily in building around LeBron's unique skill set, constructing a roster designed to maximize his strengths while minimizing his weaknesses. Anthony Davis provides the perfect complement to LeBron's game, creating a two-man foundation that rivals any in the league when healthy. Additionally, LeBron's no-trade clause gives him complete control over any potential destination, meaning he'd need to specifically request a trade to Golden State for any deal to materialize. Given his stated desire to potentially play alongside his son Bronny and his historical commitment to Los Angeles, such a request seems astronomically unlikely. The Lakers would also need to receive equal value in return, which the Warriors simply cannot provide given their salary cap constraints and limited asset collection. This isn't a situation where creative trade mechanics can bridge the gap. The fundamental mathematics don't work. The Warriors' persistent pursuit of LeBron reveals fascinating insights into their internal evaluation of their championship timeline and current roster construction. These multiple phone calls suggest an organization that recognizes their window for sustained excellence may be narrowing faster than anticipated. Stephen Curry, despite his continued brilliance, is 36 years old and entering the twilight of his prime. Draymond Green, while still effective, has shown signs of decline and carries the baggage of his emotional volatility. The Warriors understand that their core trio's championship window is finite and closing rapidly. Their chase of LeBron represents a Hail Mary attempt to extend that window by adding another generational talent who could theoretically maintain elite production for several more seasons. It's the kind of desperation move that successful organizations consider when they recognize their current trajectory may not lead to championship success. However, this pursuit also reveals potential blind spots in the Warriors' organizational thinking. They appear so focused on adding star power that they may be underestimating the importance of roster depth, financial flexibility, and sustainable team construction. The Warriors' championship pedigree and organizational success have earned them the benefit of the doubt in most situations, but this LeBron pursuit suggests they may be overthinking their path back to title contention instead of maximizing their existing assets. Perhaps the most compelling argument against this potential partnership lies in the brutal reality of Father Time's undefeated record against professional athletes. LeBron James, despite his incredible longevity and conditioning, is 40 years old and showing subtle signs of decline that become more pronounced with each passing season. While LeBron remains remarkably productive, his defensive impact has diminished significantly, and his ability to dominate games for extended periods has become more sporadic. The Warriors would be betting on a player whose best years are definitively behind him, regardless of his continued excellence. Stephen Curry and Draymond Green aren't exactly spring chickens either, meaning this potential Big Three would represent one of the oldest core groups in NBA history. The physical demands of an 82-game season followed by playoff intensity would test the limits of their collective durability. The Warriors have historically succeeded through pace, ball movement, and defensive versatility, all attributes that typically decline with age. Adding another aging superstar, regardless of his talent level, might fundamentally alter their identity in ways that actually make them less effective. Championship teams need players who can handle increased responsibility when stars rest or struggle. An aging core limits that flexibility and creates vulnerabilities that younger, more athletic teams can exploit in crucial moments. Instead of chasing impossible dreams, the Warriors should focus on maximizing their existing core while adding complementary pieces that enhance their proven championship formula. Their second-half surge last season demonstrated they still possess the talent and chemistry to compete at the highest level. The Warriors' young players like Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, and Brandon Podziemski represent legitimate assets who could develop into meaningful contributors or be packaged in trades for more realistic targets. Building around their established stars while developing young talent offers a more sustainable path to continued success. Their championship experience and organizational culture provide advantages that can't be quantified in traditional metrics. The Warriors know how to win big games, how to handle pressure, and how to maximize their collective strengths when it matters most. Rather than disrupting that proven chemistry for a long-shot superstar acquisition, they should focus on fine-tuning their roster through strategic additions that complement rather than complicate their existing dynamics. The Warriors' pursuit of LeBron James represents the kind of ambitious thinking that defines championship organizations, but it also reveals the dangerous temptation to chase headlines rather than sustainable success. Sometimes the most brilliant move is recognizing when your current path, while perhaps less glamorous, offers the best chance for sustained excellence. Their multiple calls to the Lakers demonstrate admirable aggression and refuse-to-settle mentality, but reality demands acknowledging when dreams exceed practical possibilities. The Warriors have built a championship culture through smart decisions and patient development. Abandoning that approach for an impossible superstar chase would represent organizational malpractice. The most successful franchises know when to dream big and when to execute realistic plans. For the Warriors, LeBron James will remain a beautiful impossibility, but their championship aspirations don't have to be. The path forward requires embracing their proven formula rather than chasing someone else's. Do you think the Warriors are right to swing for the fences with this LeBron pursuit, or should they focus on more realistic improvements to their championship core? Let us know in the comments whether you see this as admirable ambition or dangerous delusion, because this story perfectly captures the fine line between championship thinking and organizational fantasy.